Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. As you can see, I'm Stan Kirkland. I'm with you today, and got another guest host that'll be along shortly. But Winston's out of town today, and so he will be back tomorrow. Let's jump on into the weather. It's brought to us by Haney Technical Center. The high today, which we probably have already hit the high. High today is going to be about 79. It's the low tonight will be about 49. We do not have the water temperature offshore, but it's going to be raining. It's been raining overnight. Going to be raining this morning. It should be clearing somewhere around 12 or 1 o'clock. More on that, and turning cooler. More on that in a minute. River readings today. Apalachicola River at Bluntstown. 21.9 feet. It is high. Again, the Chattahoochee River, it's 10.4 feet high. They're flooded. They've been flooded, and be cautious about going out right now on the rivers. The tides are brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home. Panama City high tide is at 5:35 this evening, so it's not till later. The low this morning was at 3:43, so tide's coming in. It's over a foot change, but tide's coming in all day. Folks, the marine forecast is not good. Thunderstorms this morning, wind west, southwest, 10 to 20. It looks like around 15 or 16 miles an hour. Rain is 90% till noon today, so it is not going to be a good day to go outside and do things. So just, plan on inside stuff till later today. The good news is we should have some cooler weather coming for the next couple of days. And so whatever you got planned, do it outside. Let's take our first break now. Well, welcome back. On my left this morning is Ken Paramore. Most of you know Ken. Ken, good to have you. Good to see you today.
Good to see you this morning.
Good.
How are you?
Good. I'm doing well. You've been traveling.
Nashville.
Nashville, and was it Gainesville?
Went to Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Atlanta, and then Nashville, and then home.
He's been to the, Ken and I both love this business of turkeys, wild turkeys, and having turkey hunting opportunities. We're not going to have those without organizations like the National Wild Turkey Federation. He's going to talk about all that coming up. But to get into things this morning, we have something special for the kids we call it the Youth Turkey Challenge. And so, Ken, what all is in store for kids that want to participate?
Well, as you know, our focus of that portion of the NWTF and the hunting heritage is to get our youth involved or back involved in the outdoors. And we came up with a way, along with other chapters, to have these youth turkey challenges, throughout the country actually, whereas you have a little contest, you have some prizes, and you let them compete, with their birds that they harvest. And a lot of states do it differently and chapters do it differently, but ours is the entire season, and to include the youth season.
Right.
And we've also chosen to include Alabama and Georgia.
So if somebody lives in Florida, they hunt during the open dates in either Alabama or Georgia, they can still, if it's Florida's open dates, they can still bring their bird, and we'll measure it and include it in the contest.
As you know, when we started this, and our discussions were that we don't care where they kill a bird. A child killing a bird is so. Our philosophy is if they want to shoot a bird and hunt a bird in Alabama or Georgia, if they bring it to us for the scoring, we will enter their bird because they killed a turkey. Is a turkey is a turkey. So
now, do they need to pre-register?
They need to pre-register.
They have to pre-register.
At C&G Sporting Goods, Gun Depot USA.
That's here in Lynn Haven.
Or you and I.
Or you are.
We will have forms, and Winston knows how to get a hold of us, And if you don't, we have a Facebook page, Bay County Longbeards. I mean, we're not hard to get a hold of. The only thing we do ask is the birds be killed during Florida's season dates, not Alabama's dates and not Georgia's dates.
How much is it for them to sign up?
It's $50, but it's the entire season. I mean,
so it's the youth days.
The 2 youth days, which is actually coming up, the 14th and 15th, which is next weekend.
Next weekend. Not
after,
this weekend, but the following weekend.
And then the 21st of March through the April 26th, I believe it is.
Right.
So it's the entire Florida season. We will be accepting birds.
And this is only for youth under 16 years of age. They got to be under 16. 15 or under. So if you take a kid, you can't shoot the bird for them, but if you take a kid and they kill a decent bird, a nice bird, and they want to register it, but you've got to pre-register. Last year we had a little problem where somebody called me, they had not pre-registered, they killed a very, very nice bird, but we couldn't do it. So make sure. And then what is if they do pre-register, what do they get for their $50?
Well, it could be a grand prize of a a Stevens 410 turkey shotgun.
And this is kind of a tricked out gun.
Yeah,
it's a nice gun.
And 410s are popular right now for hunting turkeys with that new TSS load. Second place, we're going to do a turkey tail, tail and beard mount.
Right.
And then third place, we're going to have a thermocell. But with all these prizes, we're going to have gift bags for these, goodie bags for these kids. So, and we're going to be recognizing them at our banquet. The winners and the first 3, and actually any of them that entered, we'll have something for them. And our banquet is August 14th annually, and that's where we'll give them actually two meal tickets to the banquet. They're them and their host, and plus they have a chance to win.
And if you've got a little one or a young one, and you want to introduce them to or take them out during this youth turkey season, during the 2 days or either during the season, it's a great deal. For $50, they're pre-registered, they're entered, but then also you get 2 tickets that allow them to attend the banquet on the August 14th,
now,
and we'll recognize them.
They don't need to pre-register prior to the season opening.
No.
They just need to be pre-registered before they bring us a turkey.
Right.
So, if they don't plan on hunting until, let's say, the seasons are staggered and Georgia's a week or 2 after ours, which I'm not sure what they are, they don't need to get it before the season starts. They just need to do it before they're going to hunt and bring us a turkey.
Okay. All right. Ken, hold those thoughts. So we're going to take our next break right now. You be with us in a minute. Well, welcome back, Ken. You just have attended the state chapter meeting for NWTF, and you represent not only our chapter, which is the Bay County Longbeards here in Bay County and surrounding areas, but you're now a state board member, correct?
Right.
So you're one of a select group that goes and basically sets.
Well, I'm on the state board, which, among other things that they do throughout the year, they set where the money goes.
Right.
Every year, and we have a meeting every August. We meet 4 times a year. But the meeting in August is where we set the money.
Right.
And the cool thing about it is the FWC has a turkey be-ologist, and NWTF has a employee turkey be-ologist. They get together prior to our August meeting, and they form a list of priorities on public lands that they want work to be done on. And they break it out in a cost. Our mission is to take that pot of money, it's usually over $1 million, almost $2 million sometimes.
This past year, I think it was right at $2 million.
And but based on the priority list that they give us, so they're working together. 2 biologists from 2 different entities work together. They come up with this list, and then we decide how much, to try to make the money go as far as you can, and to try to make the money go throughout the state. So one portion or one management area in the state is not getting
all the money,
the lion's share of the money.
Right.
So, and it's an all-dayer. I mean, we wrangle and cut pennies and corners and try to be fair about the money distribution. But that money, it comes from banquets.
Sure.
And then there's a match. You know, there's a cost share match from FWC and other agencies.
Right.
So we get this. And then, of course, there's an awards banquet, you know, that night after that board meeting, or after, actually it's a board meeting in January that we have. And then they give all the chapters who achieve, you know, great things throughout the year these awards.
Well, before you get into those awards, the thing that you just touched on is really important. You know, when one of the things you said was that when you attend our banquets, and we have a banquet every year, other chapters throughout the state have banquets. There's banquets, I think, in, is it Mariana, Bluntstown maybe? Anyway, Pensacola, Bonifay,
Gainesville, Lake City, Jacksonville.
Anyway, you go on, and then the huge banquet, which the mega banquet, which I've never attended, is down, I think, in, I'm trying to remember.
Wekiva Springs.
Wekiva Springs, right. They have hundreds of members, but when you spend money and come and attend that banquet, that money helps to go to pay for projects on public land, not private land, but public land in the state. And so that money is well spent, very well spent. Ken, you attended and represented the state meeting on behalf of our chapter. What were some of the things that were recognized?
Our chapter did, you know, after storm, you know, we didn't even know if we were going to have a banquet, as we talked about before.
That's correct.
But then our rebound banquet after the storm, we achieved, as you can see some of this hardware here, we achieved and brought home some hardware.
Let me hold one of these
from that. And one of the ones that I think is special is this, what they call this Trendsetter Award. And we were recognized for not only the growth that we've done in the last 5 years, but overcoming the adversity and having our highest ranking banquet in the 5 that we've had in a year after obviously what we had. We also achieved the, you know, awards in the memberships. We had over 200 memberships. We came in second place in the state with the highest net income of all the chapters in the state. So we really did great, and it was really, I was proud to get up there and accept those awards that night.
And if I can pat somebody on the back for a minute, the sponsors and the individuals that buy tickets that attend our banquet, those individuals, we appreciate you. Don't take wrong what I'm going to say. But we really, I want to say that our sponsors that pay the lion's share of the budget, we thank you, because
we couldn't do it without them.
We couldn't do it without the people who step up. And if I start calling out names, I'm going to forget somebody. But thank you for that.
Well, I can tell you we had about 24 of them that were sponsors, and I can tell you that...
And that was on the heels of a storm that was devastating.
And almost a third of our sponsors stepped up to the next level in sponsorship for that banquet. So,
yeah,
I mean, it was incredible. And thank you to all of you, actually, thank you.
Now, you also, and we're going to have a break in just a few minutes, but you also attended the National Convention for NWTF in Nashville.
My 5th one in a row.
Yeah, you've been to the, wow.
That is something to see for any of you all who've never been to anything of that size.
Were there a few hundred people there?
Yeah. They sent out a newsletter yesterday that they set a record, and it was over 57,000 people attended in 3 days, over 3 days.
It's one of the most popular national conventions, and there's everything you can imagine there.
It's not just turkeys.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's probably half deer stuff, you know, and outdoor things, and boats, and ATVs, and guided trips to, you know, Africa and Alaska, and I mean, you name it, it's there, and it puts all these other sport shows, in my opinion, it dwarfs them compared to the size of this thing.
Now, this was about 2 weeks ago, but you and your wife went up, and y'all were there for the opening on Thursday
night.
And then you were there Friday, and then...
No, Wednesday night was the welcome party, and then Thursday the sports show opened up. And there's things, there's breakfasts, and there's dinners, and there's entertainment, and the Michael Waddell's of the world, you know, with his crew, has a booth there, and he's an honorary board person in the NWTF. So
wow.
And you can interact with all these people, and they're just like you and I are.
Wow. Wow.
It was really a good time.
Wow.
I encourage anybody who gets a chance to go. It's next year. It'll be February 17 to 21, I believe, in 2021.
And will it be in Nashville again?
Nashville again.
Yeah. Yeah, you and there was a mutual buddy of ours that was there, and he sent me a little video to show me some of the stuff going on while he was there. So a lot of people attend, though. I imagine by Saturday, though, that is probably the biggest day. And if you want to attend, be there for either the Thursday or the Friday. You probably don't want to be there on a Saturday, I wouldn't think.
It's hard to walk around on a Saturday. It was so packed.
All right, folks. Let's take our next and last break right now. Well, welcome back to the last segment of Panhandle Outdoors. Ken, you were saying before we went to break?
Yeah, before we go any further, I want to give a couple shout-outs this morning to two viewers that I'm aware of. And one of them is a daily viewer and former sponsor of this show, and an overall great guy. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have had a place to hunt this past season. So I want to say good morning to Rodney Swindle up in Calhoun County. Rodney, if you're watching, good morning.
Good deal.
The other one I want to give a shout out to is Andrew McClellan, and he's over towards Fort Walton, Mary Esther area. And I met him at the boat show this past weekend, and he works for a marine dealer over there. But he's a Alabama deer hunter and turkey hunter, and he's got a young son that he's going to start getting involved in turkey hunting. And I did my NWTF spiel to him. So good morning, Andrew.
Good deal. There's very few places that I go that people don't ask me about the show or about Winston or what's going on. Jeff, if they knew you, they'd ask about you as well. But Jeff is the same technical guy.
Stopped all the time, and sometimes you see people and they're kind of standing off staring at you, and you wonder why they're looking at you, and then finally when you make eye contact, they'll say, "I know you."
I recognize you. Yeah, I know.
So it's all good.
I know it is good. On the subject of business for just a minute, let's finish up with this. I know Winston's talked about it, but there's a brand new spotted sea trout or speckled trout rule, as we call it, and everybody needs to be on board with it. And there's a 3 fish bag per person. If you go out, the bag limit basically says you can have 2 fish that are 15 to 19 that you can keep, and then 1 can be over that. So if it's a 25 or 27 inch gator trout, you could keep that. But if you're in a boat, you can only have 1 oversized fish in the boat. Your other 3 fish would have to measure between 15 and 19.
So if you've got 5 in the boat, 1 fish.
One fish 19. over 19, and those are the big spawners. And I've had discussions with people about this, and they tell me that FWC got this wrong, and you and I worked with FWC. I don't know whether FWC got this wrong or not. I don't know that, but it's the rule. We're going to live with it. We're going to make it's going to be successful. When they did their samples.
Well, the deer reporting rule.
People love it.
And some hate it.
Well, I'm sorry, wait a minute. I'm thinking about the antler restrictions. I'm sorry, not deer reporting.
No, the deer reporting.
Oh yeah. I heard about that too this year. Yep. You know, they anticipated the deer reporting rule. They anticipated, I think it was 25 to 30% compliance. And so in time, I think
we'll get there.
That we will get there with that. I had people ask me about it, and so I always tried to pull out my little sheet and show it to them, and they said, "Well, you still work?" I said, "No, I don't work for them, but this is what you have to do." So anyway, but remember that about spotted sea trout: 3 fish per person. If you're in a boat, you're limited to 1 big fish over 19 in a boat, but it's 3 fish between 15 and 19. And unfortunately, you're going to throw them back. But you can also catch redfish. You're limited to 1 redfish you can take home, but you can catch a 6-7 pound redfish, take home, and flounder 10 fish bag limit. There's some other seasons came in too. I believe
Snapper's been set.
Yeah, FWC set the snapper season.
June 11, July 25th comes to mind.
Right.
They just said it at the past commission meeting like 2 weeks ago. And a lot of people, I think Winston included, had some trips set, because historically it's been open in June 1. So whatever the changes were, now it's June 11, July 25. Right. So some people had to change their charters that they'd already had booked. Triggerfish just opened, I believe, March 1.
I think, right.
Because I saw some pictures the other day of, and as all you snapper fishermen know, when triggerfish season's closed and you go snapper fishing, that's all you catch is triggerfish. And so now triggerfish is open.
But they are good eating fish.
They're great eating fish, and they've increased the size limit. And I think the bag limit is only 1.
Yeah.
So, triggerfish has had some changes, but I understand it is back open.
Yeah, there's those triggerfish are a little hard to get it. You have to know what you're doing to clean one. If you never clean one, it's probably an experience.
It's like filleting a piece of leather and leather on the top, and.
Yeah, but they're.
And once you get there,
man, they're
some
if
good
you catch
stuff.
Decent fish. They're very nice. But again, you can go to the FWC website and check out. They got all kind of rules, the bag limits, and all the stuff that we've been talking about this morning are there.
These Spanish mackerel should be in the bay here soon.
Yeah, yeah.
If
and people already
here.
catching pompano.
Yeah, and they have all winter.
They have all winter.
Off and on.
Pompano never left.
Yep.
And if you haven't done that, you should try pompano fishing. Some great opportunities locally to go and do that, and the people that are catching them are people obviously that are going, and get you the proper rigs and have the things that'll set up on the beach. All right, we're out of time. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.